Aytekin Tank is the founder and CEO of Jotform. He is a productivity expert and automation enthusiast, and he is the author of Automate Your Busywork. Welcome, Aytekin.
Hey, great to be on your show.
Excited to have you on. Tell us a little about your personal life, some more about your work, why you do what you do.
Yeah. Um, in my personal life, I think like three things define me. Um, I'm a father, I'm a father of three kids, and I'm the second one is if I'm a founder of a successful bootstrap business. Now it's 17 years since I started, and we have over 500 employees. And I'm also an author. I just released my first book this year, and it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. And what's common about these three things is I think it's business. It's first of all, being a father, it's all about business. Like I'm so busy, like 6 days out of 7 days every week. I'm actually taking my kids to some kind of like sports training or class, like mainly basketball and tennis, and just so busy. On my job, on my work, basically we help people automate their busy work. And forms are actually, when I started Jotform 17 years ago, I started it because before that I was working for a media company in New York, and I was a programmer, and one of my duties was to like create forms. Like I was creating these questionnaires, surveys, like contact forms, payment forms, and I wanted to find a way to like automate it. I wanted to find a product that can take away this boring job from me. I couldn't find one, so I decided, okay, I'll quit my job and I will actually start this product. And I did that, and I found that a lot of people needed this. But over the years, I discovered that what I do is not like we are not creating forms. Like we are not helping people create forms. We are actually helping people automate their business or organization, like the communication within an organization or business. Like Jotform is very popular in like healthcare, education, nonprofits, mainly because these industries are dealing with like so many people. If you're an educator, like you have to deal with students, parents, teachers, everyone else, and you are receiving so much information. You are receiving all these requests. You are receiving asking people for information. They are making requests from you, and if you try to do these things like manually, you are so busy that I remember my professor was like his in school, in university, like his basic, he was also the dean, and his room was like filled with papers. Like you couldn't even walk in it. Like everywhere, like his desk, ground, everywhere was filled with paper. So I found out that I'm actually helping people like my professor, that actually help them get rid of that busy work, like automate that busy work, so that all that information flow, and all the stuff that happens after that form is submitted. There's also lots of going on, and we also have them, like we released an e-signature product, we released an approval workflow product, like so there's just so much busy work, and we have been helping people with busy work. So I kind of discovered that on this journey when I was when I was growing my business. And the third one is my book, Automate Your Busywork. It's in the title. It's about helping people find a way to get rid of the busy work so that they can focus on the important stuff. So it's easy to say, hey, just get rid of busy work, so that like just focus on the important stuff. And I say that a lot, and that's like my philosophy in life. Like just I try to make sure that I spend my life with important things and just don't waste it away. And but saying that is not enough. Like you have to find a strategy, you have to find a way so that you can actually take away those like busyness. And how do you take away the business? It's all about automation. And we are just living in a different kind of age now, like just different times. And it's so easy to automate things now, like just there's the technology. And because of that, there's just so many opportunities, and people, it's hard to like learn new tools. It's hard to like stop doing what you are doing. But when the pandemic happened, everybody learned, everybody moved to the forums, everybody learned to use like online, they started ordering online, they started using e-signatures instead of like signing documents and papers and sending those papers. So it's, when they have to, people actually learn, people, find like research and find out and find a way to automate things. But this book kind of helps people to give them some strategies to make that easy so that they can actually save the time for more important things. So all those three things are about business. And for me, why I do what I do is it's a great question. I think for me, it's about the challenges. I love working on the challenges. And like the last 8 months, so my third child is actually 8 months old. So she's 8 months old. So 8 months ago, I took a break for 3 months, and then and I loved actually, getting less busy and just focus on one thing. And then my book was coming out, so I decided to, extend that. So I was actually out for 7 months, and my COO took over everything else from me, and that was really enjoyable. And because I really liked, like, as a CEO of a kind of like the company's getting big now, like, over 500 employees, just I'm dealing with so many stuff. So I was kind of losing that excitement because I was just doing so many things. And by like, remembering that I really loved focusing on like specific things, that when I got back to work in September, I decided like, okay, I told my CEO, hey, you keep everything else. I'm just gonna pick 5 things. I'm just gonna focus on those 5 problems or opportunities. And every day of the week, I'm just gonna focus on one thing. And I'm more productive this way. If I focus on one thing, I'm much more productive. So I picked those 5 things. For example, on Mondays, I've worked on quality, like improving the quality of our products. On Tuesdays, I work on the enterprise product, like how we can make it better. Like there is a big growth there, and we are growing a sales team. We have been self-service for the most of our history, but now we are actually growing a sales team. So it's like that. So I'm just more focused now, and I'm much more productive, and I'm actually more excited about my work. So I figured that my why is actually like being creative, like really working on important problems, finding creative solutions, and really executing on a solution and seeing the results on those solutions. That really excites me about work, and in whatever I do, that excites me.
I appreciate that. It's is it interesting that a tech founder and CEO and programmer talks about the creative part of your brain?
Yeah, I think it's really it's about creativity, because if you think about it, like programming feels like it's not creative, but what you do when you program is you actually come up with creative solutions to problems. And what you try to do is you solve a problem, and you just solve it once instead of like solving it every day. Just you apply a solution, and then it's so. One thing great about like programming or tech is it can actually, instead of doing the same thing again, instead of applying the same solution again and again, you're actually finding a solution once, and then that solution is like that's the machine is doing that. Like from now on, machine takes over that work. So it's the same thing with automation. Automation is also about being creative. So you find a solution, you find a creative solution to a problem you have, and you find an automation solution, and then you actually reduce the amount of repetitive work you do, and you have more time for creative solutions. But yeah, I also love like writing. I've been writing for Entrepreneur and Fast Company, and I've been writing for Medium. Now I have the book. So I have some creative aspect, definitely. But it's not just, I don't think you have to be in a creative, like you don't have to do arts to be creative. You can actually be creative in your business. And it's actually much more fun because in business, like your creative solutions have actual like tangible results, like either, you know, satisfied customers, growth for your business, more revenue. Like I think it's more fun to be creative in business.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I do think that we all have some form of inner creative. We just bury it in all the nonsense and busyness of, for lack of a better term, modern living. I've also discovered that we human beings fall in love with our problems, and we claim and really want to hold on to them, even though it's counterintuitive. Why would we want to do that? So the idea of actually solving the problem and then not having to worry about it because we were able to automate it or use some kind of a technology. Do you see people resisting that, maybe subconsciously, because this is just what I do? I just deal with this.
Yeah, definitely. So in the book, I talk about this automation first mindset, and I think really the second and the third principle is about that. So basically, there are four principles. The first one is clarify your priorities. Ask yourself two questions: what should I spend my time on, and what shouldn't I spend my time on? Like you can do a time audit, figure out how you spend your time. Like if you do a time audit, put how you spend your time on a spreadsheet, and at the end of the week, if you look at how you spend your time and ask yourself, should I really spend my time on this? And like separate those things, and the things that energizes you and the things that drain you are separated, and you attack those things that drain you first. And because they're not just taking away your time, they're also taking away your motivation, your opportunities, your excitement, your energy, everything. They're draining you. So that was the first one. The second one is harnessing laziness and impatience. And this is also about the question you asked, like how we can kind of really like not get stuck with the usual, like just find a way, like just stop doing the same thing again and again. And Bill Gates has a great quote. He says that I would always hire a lazy person to do a hard job because the lazy person will find a smart way to do it. And it's about like taking the time to really finding, like thinking about it and finding a smart solution to those repetitive tasks. And the third one is making time to save time. Like you have to really take the time to do research, to think about your workflows, like how you spend your time, what kind of workflows you have, like how much you wait for other people, all those things that are like taking your time. Like you have to constantly wait for notifications. Do you really have to wait for those notifications, or can those things take care of themselves? So you need to make time to save time. You need to take the time. Like if you spend a day automating things, you could save a year of work. And for me, like I was spending like 6 hours in my emails, and a solution I found like reduced that to 2 hours a day. So and that's also about that, like the question you asked, like, you know, really should we you know, how can we really take the plunge and like do the automation, find a way to delegate or automate the work we do that drain us. And the fourth one is about systems thinking. There's a great book by Donella Meadows, and she talks about the systems, how the world is a system, cause and effect, feedback loops, and how you can use leverage points. Like if you understand the systems, like how you can make a change. And if you basically, in the book, I also talking about like building your systems and helping automation. Like instead of doing things yourself, like instead of being an individual contributor, you are becoming a manager. You are becoming a manager. Maybe you're not managing other people, but you are actually managing your automations. If you think about it like that, now you have all these automations and you build these systems and you continuously refine and iterate on these systems to work on a higher level. So instead of doing those repetitive tasks, now you are managing those automations. And yeah, it's not easy, but basically when people actually change their mindset, when you get that automation first mindset, it becomes easier to automate things. So my book is really about like giving you the more motivation to do the automations, to understand what energizes you, what drains you, and really taking the time so that you spend more of your time with things that you love to do.
Which makes so much sense. Do you think that most people waste time? Not on purpose, maybe on purpose.
Yeah, I think it's just it's so easy to waste time because just we are bombarded with all these things like like if you open YouTube, right, you will get like so many great things coming your way on social media, on TV. It's just very easy to waste time wherever you look, and just your notifications like from your phone, at your work, like people constantly writing to you or coming to you. So it's just very easy to waste so much time. It's important that, like, I think it's important that if you enjoy something, that's good. Like you definitely watch your movies or like watch your sports, or but be intentional about it instead of like just going with the river, like so I think it's time boxing is a great tool for this, and that's actually what I do every morning. So every morning, like I have a routine and go to gym, send my kids to school, things like that. But after I handle all those things, like I have my cup of coffee and I sit in front of my computer and just I don't check my emails, I don't check social media or YouTube or anything else. Just what I do is I will just open this full screen text editor. On Mac, there's a text editor called IA Writer, but it's just a regular text editor. What I really like about it is it becomes like full screen, like there's nothing else on the screen, and I use the black background, so I have this full screen. I have this great Apple monitor as well, so I have this full screen black background and a white cursor blinking, and it just feels like an empty, paper, like being creative. It feels like you can't accomplish anything. So I have my coffee, I have that full screen. So what's the most important thing I can work on? And I ask myself that question. Like sometimes I don't know that. So I will start journaling. I will just writing down whatever comes to my mind. And after a few paragraphs, it actually, like I start like coming up with like finding out, I start discovering what's really important for me. What should I work on that day? And the next 2 hours, like until noon, I'm just going to focus on that. And sometimes I will just read a book, because to solve that problem or to really execute on that opportunity, I have to learn something, because I don't have the enough skills. So I just open my Kindle and just buy the book and read it, or open YouTube, watch some tutorial or something. So it just either educate myself about something or think about something. I love using writing to think about things, because it's like conversation. And sometimes I will just meet with someone, just talk with someone, and to learn about it, and just it's important that we time box. And after noon, that I can start looking at my emails, I can schedule my meetings. And once I accomplish that big task of the day, everything else is much easier. Like, it's just much more fun because you know that you have been productive on the most important thing in your life that day. So now you can take care of all that busy work. Yeah.
I think that that's super powerful. There's so much value in a blank page or blank screen. I love, I can see it in my mind, this big Apple monitor, just black screen, just the white sort of cursor blinking at you. And instead of rushing to fill this empty space with stuff, like, no, just going to let fun or creativity come through and figure out what the most important thing is and give yourself that space. So I think that that is very wise. I love it. Well, I take it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Okay.
coming on. Where can people learn more about you? How can they engage, and where can they get their copy of Automate Your Busywork?
So it's available on bookstores. But I also have a website, aytekintank.com. So my first name, last name.com. And in my website, there's actually like a free chapter of my book. You can go there and read the first chapter. And if you like it, you can get the book on Amazon. There's actually also an audio version. It's available on audible.com. So I hope that it helps you.
Excellent. Well, if you enjoyed this as much as I did, show Aytekin your appreciation and share today's show with a friend who also appreciates good ideas. Go to aytekintank.com. It's AYTEKINTANK.com and check out everything that he is working on. Check out the free chapter from Automate Your Busywork. And you can also get it on Audible, get the audio version, or pick up your full copy on Amazon. And I can certainly attest to the value of what he has been talking about and the importance of doing a time audit, because I know that I have a tendency to slip back into bad habits and to waste time. So I think it's a really valuable thing. Thanks again, Aytekin.
Thank you, George.
Until
Bye-bye.
next time, remember, do your part by doing your best.